of you. I'm going to follow the example of the last GOP debate. Today is like another job interview for you two. Of course, you're not running against each other, but I will ask you this classic question. What are your biggest weaknesses? And I will ask Mr. Thomson first.
That's a question I hadn't really thought much about. What are my biggest weaknesses? I guess the fact that, well, first of all, from a timing standpoint, I still have a day job. I still go down to downtown Los Angeles on a daily basis, practice law, and so balancing the time required for that, plus time for family, my wife and children, grandchildren, etc., and the time for PCC and my other avocational endeavors. So I think that's probably the biggest challenge, and in that sense, a weakness, I guess one might say. But I always make it a point to get prepared for meetings for PCC or whatever organization I belong to, and go to the meetings prepared, put my full 150% interest and involvement into whatever organization I'm associated with. So I think I've demonstrated that on my time here at PCC.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Selinske?
Biggest weakness.
Biggest weakness. Tough question, huh?
It's going to be helpful.
I think I have too high of expectations sometimes. I really think that, I expect a lot of what I'm involved with, and I get disappointed, I guess, as a result of that, in that things don't happen as far or as fast as I would like to see happen. And I think I tend to be more strategic than detail-oriented. I guess if you want to look at another weakness too, which is good and bad. I think there are pluses and minuses to that. So.
Okay. So my next question here is: all of you, I correct me if I'm wrong, have gone on record to say that hiring Mark Rocha as president of the school was a mistake. Is that correct?
I've been on record on that. I don't believe it. But.
Okay, fair enough. A lot of people say that. Can you explain why you believe or don't believe that? And what would you do to avoid having a president like him in the future? Or if you believe that he was a good president, what would you do to make sure we have presidents like Mark Rocha on campus? I will ask Mr. Selinske.
Not being intimate with all the details of the process, I've gathered information from the outside, and it appears that there may have been not enough due diligence done to really understand completely maybe his philosophy and background. And I'm not blaming anyone, that's what it appears to be from the outside. To help ensure that we maintain the right leaderships, I think we have to ensure that there's an excellent process in place, and that as a board, that's the most important job that we would have, hiring the superintendent president. And so ensuring that process has the right checks and balances, the right level of depth of investigation, I think would help ensure that we find the right leader. And I do believe leadership also has to be a good fit for what we need at the time. I think different leaders bring different things.
And I'm going to follow up with you on that, Mr. Selinske.
Okay.
Are you not prepared to make any statement on Mr. Rocha as far as his administration?
I can. I mean, in hindsight, it's easy to say it was the wrong choice.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, Mr. Thomson?
Well, let me back up a little bit. When Mark was hired, he came to us with a very outstanding background. He was obviously a very bright person, and he had been at West Los Angeles College for a number of years. We interviewed people over there, and they all gave him good recommendations, etc. When Mark came on board, I was actually the president of our board of trustees at that time, and we would meet on a weekly basis, go over things, and Mark would from time to time say, well, I want to do this or put this on the agenda, and I would say, well, Mark, I really don't think that's a good idea, and he would actually listen to me and change his mind. But I don't think he had that same type of comfort or relationship with the successors that I had as the president of the board. And also, he got into battles with the different organizations on campus. I think that really got to him. plus the fact that his wife works with Jacobs Engineering and had a very good promotion opportunity and job opportunity back in Manhattan, and took it. And so Mark had.
Mr. Thompson, I'm sorry, I have to stop you for time.
Okay.
With all due respect. So with that said, and this I will ask you both of these questions. Are you happy with the appointment of Dr. Rajan Verdian as the, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, as the president superintendent of the school? Mr. Selinske?
Yes.
You weren't part of that choice, but were you happy with that choice?
Yes.
Okay. Is that all you, how you want to answer that?
Okay. I can elaborate if you like.
Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds to elaborate on it.
Yeah, I think, as I was alluding to, I think the right leader at the right time is really important for what the institution needs. And I think because of Dr. Verdian's experience with Fullerton College and his long-time academic career, he seemed like an excellent fit for what is needed at the college at this time.
And Mr. Thompson, you were part of that selection process. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would. I think he's demonstrated in the 4 months roughly that he's been here that he will listen openly, honestly, thoughtfully to what people say and take it into consideration and reach decisions. He understands you have to have really collaboration and agreement on what you're going to achieve and how you're going to achieve it, and then he will proceed to do that. So I think we're off to a very good beginning, and I'm quite pleased with